Happy Monday to you. I thought today, with the holiday coming up in a couple of days, I'd probably like to mention a little bit about Thanksgiving. You know, Thanksgiving was something that was celebrated for the last several centuries in different cultures. Mainly it was because of a harvest that was good. Sometimes it was for a wedding. Any type of special event was considered a Thanksgiving, and people worshipped whatever god they were following at the time, and basically thanked him for their situation in life. In the U.S., George Washington started observing Thanksgiving as far as the federal government was concerned. And at the time, it really wasn't anything that was set in stone. It was kind of called whenever they felt like calling it, frankly. So this year they might have Thanksgiving. Next year they might not have Thanksgiving. And it went that way with a number of the presidents afterward. Then I believe it was in 1815. They stopped doing that. And the states more or less took over that. Each individual state either did or didn't, depending on how they felt and how they felt their people felt. In 1850, it got to the point where most of the states were celebrating Thanksgiving. Then in the middle of the Civil War, in 1863, Abraham Lincoln declared a national day of thanksgiving and praise for the Lord. And he made the fourth Thursday of November an official holiday for every year. That was his declaration. And we've been following that ever since. There's a lot of different stories about the first Thanksgiving. And, you know, some of it, the history books kind of glorified a little bit. Some of them don't really tell the whole story. But I found a website called plimoth.org. It's a website that's associated with the Smithsonian Institute. And they give you the pretty good scoop on what Thanksgiving is and how it started. Along with the Wampanoag Indians, I believe it was. I may not have pronounced it correctly, but the Wampanoag, maybe. And those Indians made it a common practice to offer praise and thanksgiving to the spirits. And this was their routine practically daily. So when the Pilgrims came along and decided that because they were going to thank the Lord for their harvest after having a tough winter and everything else, just the fact that they were alive, it kind of blended in real well. You know, they did some hunting for turkeys and other types of fowl. Seems the Indians, with the chief, his name was Massasoit, I believe, he came along with some of the braves, and they brought some deer, and it turned into a party that lasted a few days. So that's basically, I mean, you can find the whole story on that website that I gave you. But right now, we're in a different situation. We don't have to worry about harvest, basically, but we have plenty to be thankful for. We have our families, our faith, our jobs, the world we live in, the country we live in. All of those things are to be thankful for. The fact that you can get up and walk anywhere you want. Some people can't. So basically, if you stop and think about everything you have to be thankful for, all the things that you and I take for granted, it's no stretch. I mean, we should be thanking God every day, just the way the Indians used to do. But this is a day that it's like all of the holidays nowadays. You know, the commercial takes over and everything to get your mind off of what a holiday really is. And that and Christmas are probably the two worst for being abused. It would be very nice if we could get back to having a Thanksgiving holiday the way it was intended to be, the way it started out to be. And I think we would all feel much better about everything. Because it's very easy to complain about you name it. But the time has come. We need to be thankful. I myself have been, an offender. You complain about this or that or whatever, and a lot of times it's not even, outright complaining. It's just like, oh, I wish this or that. Just thank God for where you live, how you live, your health, the fact that you can see, you can feel, you can enjoy the world. You have a family that loves you and you love them. Make it a holiday for your friends and family. Get together and appreciate each other and the world around you and your life in general. I don't mean to be preaching or anything like that, but I really feel that when I look at the holiday the way it is now, and I look at it when I was a kid, it's kind of come down some. And I'd really like to see it get more like the old days. A lot of people laugh and say the old days were no better than these days. Well, I'll tell you what. This country used to be a godly country. There isn't too much of that anymore. Our government followed the Bible. They certainly don't anymore, and haven't for years. So we need to get back to those old days. And all I will leave you with is what I always say: God bless you, and remember Jesus loves you. And I wish you a blessed, happy, thankful Thanksgiving. So long.